How do you measure titratable acidity in sour homebrew? Imagine tasting a sour beer and wondering just how tart it really is. If you want to get precise about that sourness, measuring titratable acidity can be your secret weapon. It might sound complicated, but it's actually quite straightforward once you understand the process. Let's walk through how you can do this at home, especially if you're working with sour beers or trying advanced brewing techniques. First, it helps to know what titratable acidity is. Unlike pH, which measures how acidic or basic a liquid is based on hydrogen ion concentration, titratable acidity tells you the total amount of acid present that can react with a base. This is important because two beers can have the same pH but taste very different in sourness. Ta gives you a better idea of how sour your beer will taste because it measures the actual acid content. Most sour beers get their sourness from acids like lactic acid and acetic acid. To measure Ta, you perform a titration. This involves adding a base, usually sodium hydroxide, to your beer sample until all the acids are neutralized. The point where the acids are just neutralized is called the equivalence point, which you can detect with a pH meter or an indicator like phenolphthalein. When using phenolphthalein, the solution turns faint pink at the end point. With a pH meter, you look for the pH to reach about 8.2. To do this at home, you need a few supplies. First, take a sample of your finished beer, about 15 milliliters, and place it in a clean container. Then, add a few drops of phenolphthalein indicator or set up your pH meter. Slowly add your 0.1 molar sodium hydroxide solution while gently mixing. Keep adding until you see the faint pink color or the pH hits 8.2. Record how much sodium hydroxide you used in milliliters. Now you can calculate the titratable acidity. The formula is: multiply the volume of sodium hydroxide used in milliliters by the normality of the sodium hydroxide, then multiply that by 90.8, which is the molar mass of lactic acid. Divide this by the volume of your beer sample in milliliters. The result is your titratable acidity in grams per liter, expressed as lactic acid. For example, if you use 2 milliliters of sodium hydroxide and your sodium hydroxide solution is 0.1 normal, then your calculation would be 2 times 0.1 times 90.8 divided by 15. That gives you about 1.2 grams per liter of lactic acid. This number helps you compare your batch to typical sour beer ranges, which are usually between 3 and 15 grams per liter. A few tips for accurate results. Always measure your beer sample carefully, degas it if it's carbonated because bubbles can interfere, and use fresh chemicals. Safety is important because sodium hydroxide is caustic, so wear gloves and goggles and work in a well-ventilated area. Interpreting your results is simple. The higher the Ta, the more sour your beer will taste. Lightly tart beers might have around 3 to 8 grams per liter, while very sour beers can go above 17 grams per liter. Use this measurement to fine-tune your recipes, troubleshoot off flavors, or reproduce a sour profile you love. Measuring titratable acidity provides a practical way to understand and control the sourness in your homebrew. It's a handy tool for anyone working with sour beers or trying to master advanced brewing techniques. With just a few simple steps and some basic equipment, you can add this valuable measurement to your brewing process and make more consistent, delicious sour beers at home.